Welcome, friends. Sorry I missed a day. I've been trying to post every day on YouTube, but I'll get there. Anyways, I wanted to. Oh, I can change this again. I always forget to change this. I wanted to show you guys a game in the same vein as the last game that I showed from the 2016 Canadian National Scrabble Championship. This game is against Michael Fagen, my club mate. Um, Michael does fairly well against me in tournaments, despite the the rating difference. So we've been around 100 points between us, sometimes more in the past for the past like I think 4 years or 5 years maybe in tournaments, something like that. But despite that, he has a very good score against me. All in all, I think we're tied right now, 17 games apiece at tournaments. So definitely not somebody that I am too keen to face over the board, given history. In any case, this was a game in 2016. This was actually one of the first games we've played against each other in tournaments, despite having played each other many, many, many times at Scrabble Club. And this was it. This was the Canadian Nationals, a very, very important event. So without further ado, Michael goes first, and he actually provided me with this rack and one other rack in the game. So we get to look at his perspective a tad. He opens with Aesia. Um, Seems fairly standard here. The only question is, where do you put Aesia? Um, so Michael put it here. And I opened with this rack, and I worry that I had some sort of bingo here that I missed. Let's see. Yes. Coalesce, the only bingo. Oh no, coal seed as well. Never mind. So yeah, I missed two bingos here to start things off. I'm not sure if I saw anything when thinking about my rack originally, but yeah, this is definitely a bad miss. Luckily, I have a blank, so I don't I don't suffer too much from not bingoing. But definitely better to score 63 now than to score it later after playing C for 7 points. So I chose C. Um, say knowledge, saddest, finding saddest. I think I knew the word coalesce at the very least. That's a somewhat normal English word, but very tough to find over the board. So yeah, starting off with a mistake like that, not so great. Michael plays Canonize, very nice find for 70. His only bingo, and I'm about to sneeze again. I keep doing this. I think I've sneezed in like at least two videos on YouTube. Anyways, apologies. Um, so to lose blank, I drew AO, which is interesting because that was Michael's leave for Aesia. And only bingo through the sea is Acoelus, which is a 5-vowel 8, which I definitely knew at the time of playing this game. However, again, I failed to see this bingo, and I actually phonied here. A word that Michael held for quite some time, if I remember correctly. Um, just looks very weird. It's either a word or it's not, like most words, it's either a word or it's not. This in this case, it's not. Coolidge, cooling. He definitely hated this, but let it go. Um, Seeing that I had a bunch of other bingos, this is not a better play than Acoelus. I think Acoelus is a bit better, but again, I missed that play, and we can do another knowledge saddest here because I could have lost my turn and probably the game if Michael pulled the trigger. But again, he had a good play to make, and I had many bingos that he saw. Um, and he tells me, okay, I only have a partial rack leave here of WH. I think he said he was considering playing Howdy as well. Anyways, so delay was his play, and Michael is well ahead here. Um, and I had a very bizarre rack here as far as I remember. Uh, Joe, yeah. J.E. Quelm, yeah. That was my rack here. So there's the play of equal, there's the play of sequel. I remember that I saw the word sequel. Didn't like what it did to the board. There's also quail and qualm. Joel, lots of plays to consider. Even Mel keeping JQ, which I assume is not a very good play. If I simulate this position, which I will in a second. And then there's G and Joe. And G, the thing about G is it's similar to Joe, but it blocks plays from 1A, except it allows certain plays like Raj, Haj, and Taj. Actually, those are the only plays it allows. And the problem with allowing those plays is not okay. He's scoring 33 points, or with Haj, he's scoring 42, which is a lot. But the problem is just how easy those plays are to make. If we get into a situation where Michael has 1 point letters, which he often will keep bingo tiles on his plays. That's one of the things that at least at the time he did more often than I would. He liked to keep bingo prone leaves that aren't necessarily so good. He's likely to just be able to dump a couple of those letters for 33. So I didn't want that. That's sort of a human thing that probably is not as big of a deal as I would make it. I should have been simulating while I was explaining this. Um, because I am blocking just scoring plays at 1A. The thing that I thought in the position was that, like, okay, Michael, not only has he already made a 4 tile play here, he's more likely than average in general to keep bingo prone leaves. So those bingo prone leaves are more prone to hitting this spot than other leaves that he is less likely to have. So that was my thinking. In any case, this is just not such a good play. I liked keeping Qualm for next turn, but I think I should just play equal, keep the J. The J is a lot more prone to scoring and improving than the Q is on this board. I could draw an A for jam, for example. Um, Lots of options. I got too excited, I think, by the prospect of QU. It's just not a good leave to keep. And sequel is also totally fine in this position. So I got it wrong. I should have played my Q rather than my J. That should be a lesson to everybody. That, I mean, we know the Q is a worse tile than the J, but even when you have QU, you should play off your Q before you play off your J. I mean, obviously, it depends on the position, but in this position, that's what the simulation is inclining upon. Anyways, let's say should play the Q first. Tactics medium. So I go ahead and play Joe. Not happy with this play. Michael plays Va, and I was just like, man, I should have played G. Shouldn't have played either. Now I have to play Qualm and keep BEN. That's what I do. QI, I thought about for a second. You draw into Nelumbo, albumin. I don't think albumens is a word. Let's check it. Oh, it is. Okay, so I would draw into that sometimes. So yeah, the Q, dropping the Q sometimes is better than playing it. I also considered Qua, I think, maybe even Quail. Let's just simulate these things to see if there's something that I'm not considering. Oh, yeah, get out of here, albumins. Oh, it doesn't have my leave anymore. Hold on. Let's try this again. But yeah, I think qualm is pretty clear. Yeah. Okay, it's not getting any closer. Okay. Yeah, qualm. Qualm's the play. I figured Michael might not know qualmy or qualmier, which is a plus as well. So he responds with thud over here for 23, which creates a big S hook, which I was immediately concerned about. but there was nothing I could really do about it. Oh my god. That is insane. Well, this is so great man. So great to look over these games, and I'm being serious. This is obviously amazing, and I wish I had seen and known this word. But oh man, that's why you should look over your games. You find these amazing moves sometimes. Timbermen? Oh shit. Excuse me. Wow. Knowledge saddest. That is so insane. I played Qualmere here. I consider just dropping the B, I think. Let's, I guess, compare the two plays that a normal human player would find. Uh, yeah, it looks like maybe fishing off the M is better. Anyways, doesn't matter because Timberman was the play. Michael responds with gift. Where did he play said word? Gift. Where does that go? Gift. What am I missing? Ah, okay. I don't know why I couldn't see that. All right, gift for 25 is Michael's response. And here I have this rack, and I make the play of Maneb. If I remember correctly, I can also play web again, which is really funny. If I remember correctly, I made this play not necessarily because I thought it was for sure the best play, but also because I thought maybe Michael would not know the word and challenge it, or be not willing to put an S on it because he was unsure of the word. And I don't remember if Michael held the word or not. Um, Sometimes Michael won't hold words; he'll rather like scoff at them or make some sort of grimace or say something like that's not a word, but still let the play slide. I'm not really sure what happened since this was 6 years ago. But man, it was a good play. The problem is now drawing an S is extremely important because now you have manebs and thuds, or a blank, I guess you could draw. So the problem with this play is it's sort of forcing me to eventually draw an S or a blank if I want to win this game. But I am behind, so makes sense. Anyways, pod is Michael's play for 30. And okay, here's the rack that I was most worried that I was missing a bingo with. So let's see. And indeed, another disconnected 9-letter word, guys. I mean, this one is something I should have seen. I knew the word. But man, oh man, those are hard to find. I'm really upset at this one. Not for the same reason of Timberman. Timberman is just gorgeous. Listeria's is just, it's great. Like a disconnected 9, it's just like a grand slam. It's like amazing, but if it's a word you know, it just feels as bad as missing an 8. Um, because it's a high probability word. So you just assume you should see that, and hey, I don't know who might argue with that. Um, Anyways, instead I played pitiers. Um, Instead of pities or pitier, I was actually wondering about if I should play just pitier or if I should fish as well. Fish being making a play that maximizes my bingo chances next turn. But yeah, obviously Listerios is the play. Um, and I think I sort of made a mistake. Not only like is this probably not as good as Pity or Pariti, but it's also like why would I do that? Why don't I keep both S's? Then I can use both S hooks one turn after the other. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense why I would just drop the S. I thought maybe my chances of drawing a bingo were better immediately. Not only are they not, but yeah, I also just, yeah, this is just bad. This is a mistake I don't think I would make today. Knowing that there are two S hooks on the board and I have the last two S's, which by the way, I was really lucky to draw both S's after Maneb. Why would I get rid of either one of them? Not only am I giving Michael free information, he now knows I must have the last S. Why else would I play my S for only 3 points? But I'm also just preventing myself from using both of the hooks. So this is a really weird decision. But I won't mention it in the annotation because I will. I won't protect the community as we put it by not mentioning my mistake. But I just won't go into detail because I'm going into detail here. That's what I'm doing. Okay. But I felt like I was in really good shape now. And I guess maybe I was trying to deal a psychological blow to Michael being like, well, nothing you can do. I have the other S, bro. Potentially. 5, 8, 9. Michael then plays Oral, making A seal. I don't know if he. I thought there was something about him not being sure of the hook. I've made the mistake once, and that's now how I know that A seal is a word. But I once challenged A seal, thinking it was no way it was a word. But I thought there was something about that. But no, he played Oral, so all is good. I responded by playing Oxy from the O, and I drew the blank in this position. Ooh, Noyo is a great play. Ooh, Oxens, man. Look at all these cool plays. But yeah, I think I considered both Noyo and Noyo with the X. I considered keeping the X to maybe set it up. But I decided to go for Oxy and just bingo next turn as much as possible. So this was definitely a fishing play, as you can see. Our next turn, highest bingo percentage. But I think scoring extra points is totally fine here. I can bingo at any time. I still have manabs. I still have thuds. There's not like a Q or like multiple V's to worry about. I'll eventually make it to bingo territory. And even if I don't, I have the last S in the blank. There's really not much to worry about if you're me in this position. So I think Noyo, I don't know if I missed it. But I'm pretty sure I saw it and just didn't want to play it for some reason. Michael plays If for 28, and he's still ahead, but I've drawn into my bingo. And I play Sun Trap. Just trying to figure out where I should play it. If I should sacrifice 1 point, is there any positional reason that I should play over here rather than over here? And I decided no, not really. In fact, I thought that I thought that this was more likely to lead to him being able to bingo. Eventually, not really sure though. Actually, something like upstand is pretty great. Because although he can bingo more after upstand because more letters go on top of the D, it's good to prevent those bingos from hitting a double word score. Also, I missed unstrap, I think. But unstrap, no, okay, unstrap isn't good because it creates the Z spot. Anyways, this is all very minor. I played Suntrap, and Michael responded with WUD over here, making Doxy. Now I'm just playing, Michael's playing catch up, and I'm just trying to maintain my lead. And I go ahead and play Calon. That was the highest score I found. And there's no use in keeping an extra 1 point tile here. What I actually do want is tiles that score, which there are many of in the pool. But what I don't want is to be stuck with INRT and then maybe draw another R, another O, or the first O or something and just not be able to score next turn. So I played Calon. The problem being that this sets up plays underneath, so it's still potentially better to play Oak for 28, just because of the prospect of Michael being able to play at L4. Let's see what the sim thinks. We're giving back 6 more points, 7 more points on average with Calon, which is just not what we want. We're only ahead 39. Obviously, we're pretty crushing in this position. It's kind of hard to bingo. The letters unseen are not so good, but why give Michael a path to this triple and to this big scoring spot, which is going to be a pain in the neck to deal with. So yeah, I think Oak is definitely better for that reason. Yeah, we don't want to give access to 4L and beyond. Strategy small. So I played Calon. I think I wanted this spot for myself. Michael actually did not have the letters to go here, and he played Bog for 18. Is there anyone else who can play that? Not good. Which creates nothing because there are no A's left to make AG. So this was not something that I was worried about in the slightest. There's no Y either to make bogey. And what did I do? I played Ver. This is my rack. 10 unseen. There's just like no plays here. I kept TIR to go underneath here. TI still fits. But now it creates a bingo lane that I think I would lose to if Michael got a bingo there, potentially. Let's ask championship player what she thinks about the position, and maybe we'll get some insight. But I'm up 50. I'm leaving one in the bag, going up 64, and there's just like nowhere for Michael to bingo. Yeah, nowhere at all. So this seems to just win. We can put in the unseen letters and see if there's really something possible. And indeed, there's no bingo playable. The only thing playable is Tiz, which scores 41, but Ver, I think, easily outruns that play. Because I'm already ahead 50, I'll be ahead 24 after Tiz, and Michael will have 5 tiles to play off. And yeah, okay. So I found what I thought was winning, and I think it was. And then Michael just played Gifty, and I drew the 2 eyes, actually, I think is what I drew. No, one more, the last eye. So yeah, this whole time I was never punished for the Calon play. So I played Gert. I think that's fine. Doesn't give back a really good Z spot, but it does give back res. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Engine is smarter than me, says no. You should play high and then play Gert next, or threaten to play it. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think I'm going out, but the idea here is to just block all Z plays, pretty much. I mean, there's still plays for the Z, but they're just really bad. This is a double letter score that he doesn't need to have. Like rezone would be his best play, I think. In Collins, ENTREZ is a word, which is pretty cool. But yeah, even GI is better just because you don't want to give back as you play. F12 high is 8 points better. Game medium. Okay. So don't just take the points willy-nilly. As we've learned, Michael responds not with the best play. Huh, very weird. I think the idea of this play, whoa, this is, Okay. This is pretty hilarious. So my letters are HII, and I'm so like screwed. I have nothing to do with these letters. That you're supposed to play trot because then I can't even go out in two, right? So if he plays trot, oh, I can play ahi. Okay, I can go out in two. And then he plays res. But the reason to play trot first is I can play TI to block res, but then he will block ahi. Oh, this is hilarious. Okay, so this is just like an engine line sort of thing. So if instead I play TI to block res, he just goes out because it gives him Zen. So I can't really do that because I'm sticking myself with the H. Uh, yeah, all right. Yeah, I should have calculated all of this, but I did not. I just thought that him playing res was totally fine because he can't go out next turn. Um, yeah, higher hit, all the same. Um, but I gave him on, which I don't think I saw, but maybe I did. And then I played id. Okay, complicated end game, but I ended up winning the game for 43.85, which was very nice. And yeah, that's about it. That was my game against Michael Fagen. Okay, I went slightly over 25 minutes, but that's okay. So yeah, same tournament as last game. Luckily, sometimes I find these score sheets next to each other. Sometimes I don't. I think there might be one or two more games from the Canadian Nationals that I have in front of me, but we'll see. We'll see what the next game holds. I don't think we can beat two disconnected nines. That's totally crazy. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.